So hi everyone. So we gather here today as the Hong Kongers. It represents more spies, more civilians, and more intimidation of our communities. It represents an attempt by Beijing to silence those who fled here seeking freedom and safety. Britain must never allow its capital to become a base for oppression. The UK should be a place of refuge, not a hunting ground for a dictatorship.
呢幾日，英國政府正式決定咗再一次押後中國超級大使館計劃嘅決定時限。中國政府亦都係拒絕咗就超級大使館計劃申請，英方向佢哋提出多個嘅要求，佢哋拒絕回應嘅。我哋嚟言有好人去聽，究竟中國呢個政府？
And if these plans go ahead, if China builds its embassy there, anyone who is interested in ancient British history or religion or heritage or culture will either no longer be able to visit that site. They have their apartments there, that is their home.
And there's many reasons. First, we're concerned about it's not a suitable place because it will cause the traffic congestion is not a good place for protest. And also, we're more concerned about maybe a spy plan. Transnational repressions will happen there. And we see the plan, or the application plan in detail. The evil is in the detail. They have hide many places and many space and never tell what the use of it. And finally, we oppose it because we think that during the Hong Kong, now still have many Hong Kong people in the jail, still have many Hong Kong people holding British passports is in the jail of Hong Kong because of human rights and freedom and because of protests. And I think the UK government should not kneel down to the Chinese government. We should do business, but priority must be for the democracy country, not to the dictator. Dictator will not be a good partner for a democracy country. And the government haven't rejected the application. The government just always defer almost defer for half a year. They defer the case for many times already. And I'm just thinking, what are they thinking about? Is they afraid of China? Why they just don't simply just reject the application? And I hope the government, because now have many people, not only Hong Kong people, the local news, even the CNN and BBC also have mentioned. I think the government should concern about national security and protect the freedom in UK and say no and reject the application.
Good afternoon, my name is Pavlo. I usually speak in Ukrainian rallies here in London, but today I was invited to this rally in Whitehall, right here, against the Chinese mega embassy that they're planning to build in the Royal Mint Court near the Tower of London. The reason why I'm here, first of all, I was invited by a good friend of mine who's a person from Hong Kong, and he very strongly supports Ukraine. And also, it's very important for us to remember that right now China is one of the most important lifelines for Russia to continue their war effort. China is providing Russia with all kinds of resources. Also, not too long ago, I think this is a sign, a big sign for the fact that Russia is becoming more and more of a proxy of China. The Russian regime, the Russian terrorist regime, has released a statement that it denies and refuses any kind of presence for European or American troops in Ukraine post-war, but they want to request Chinese troops. I don't think I have to explain much about that. Russia is clearly in cahoots with China in this situation, with the CCP in particular. So the reason for why the United Kingdom should not build this embassy is simplicity itself. China is not a friend of the United Kingdom. China wishes the worst for the United Kingdom. You know, to an extent, it's a bit of a historical hatred for the century of humiliation. For those who do not know, China was dominated by Western powers for a long time, for a century, as the name implies. And the United Kingdom was, it could be said, the one that has done the most damage to the back then Qing Empire, if I'm not mistaken. Another reason is that China right now has a full-blown authoritarian regime. Now, I know there's been some critiques against the United Kingdom in this and that, but my friends, let's call a spade a spade. One thing is to fine people for hateful comments online, which I don't necessarily agree with, but it is what it is. Another thing is to build widespread concentration camps for minorities and say you're quote-unquote re-educating them, and then funding foreign wars like in Myanmar, like helping Russia. Russia is the attack dog of China, of the CCP right now. They do the dirty work because the Chinese Communist Party is cunning and it's clever and it's not stupid at all. It's making the right moves for their benefit, for their victory, and that's why they need to be taken very seriously. Now, Russia, it's a failed world power. It's waning, but it's doing the dirty work for someone else. That's why we can't underestimate them either. That's my message today.